I'm Anastasia Chatzka, a fashion designer with over 20 years of experience and a sewing educator. And I'm really excited you're here to share another sewing adventure with me today. Welcome to Sewing Anastasia, and today we are gonna make panties. We are gonna make panties that tie at the sides. These are awesome because you can make them as tight or as loose as you want. These are so easy to make. It's just 2 pattern pieces and some fold over elastic. You're gonna wanna make these in every single color and print imaginable. You're gonna have hundreds of panties galore, because these are so easy to make. If you're not already a subscriber to Sewing Anastasia, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when all the new videos come out. And if you're a subscriber, thank you so much for following my sewing adventures and subscribing to Sewing Anastasia. And if you don't know, I now teach virtual sewing lessons and sewing lessons in person. You can sign up for those at sewinganastasia.com. Supplies for this project are super simple. You're going to need your pins. You're going to need your scissors. You're also going to need your rotary cutter and mat. And you're going to need some fold over elastic, a few yards of it. You're also going to need some knit fabric. I would choose a knit cotton. And you're also going to need a nice white knit cotton so we can do a little lining in the crotch area as well. And you're going to need a pattern. So I have a 2-piece pattern on my website that you can download. Super simple. You can print this at home on your home printer. The pattern can be found on sewinganastasia.com under digital downloads. The first thing we're gonna do is cut out the body of the panty piece. Make sure you lay it out so that way the stretch is going across the pattern. Now grab your rotary cutter and let's cut this panty out. As you can see, this would be the front of our panty, and this would be the back of our panty. So just one more piece to cut out. Next, we're gonna cut out the little crotch lining piece. So grab this pattern piece, and we're just gonna cut out one, and make sure your stretch is going across the pattern. So we're just gonna work our way all the way around this little piece. Now that we have our pieces cut out, we just need to cut some elastic. Next, we need to measure out our fold over elastic. So you want to measure out your leg opening on both sides and cut 2 pieces of elastic. We also need to cut elastic for the top and the back of the panty, but make sure you leave extra because we need extra so that way we can tie it in a knot like this one. So I'm just gonna lay my fold over elastic along the leg opening so I know how much to cut, give myself a little extra and cut. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other leg opening. Now I'm gonna measure across the top, and I'm gonna give myself some extra for the ties. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the back piece. Extra for the ties, across the top, and a little extra for the tie. There we go. Now that everything's cut out, we are ready to sew. The first thing we are going to sew is going to be the little crotch lining piece. So grab it and let's sew it down. So we have the wrong side of the panty face up, and we have the right side of the crotch lining face up. Now what we want to do is fold over the edge 1/4 of an inch, and we're going to pin that down. Same thing on this side, fold it under 1/4 of an inch and pin it down. Now that we have that pinned down, we're gonna go over to our sewing machine and we're just going to zigzag down these 2 edges. The stitch we're going to be using today is called the broken zigzag stitch because there's a bunch of other little stitches within the zigzag stitch. So cool, right? This stitch is great for sewing stretch fabrics. And now we're going to sew down that lining. Now we're going to sew down the other side. We have our lining piece sewn on and it's looking great. Now I want you to grab your fold over elastic and we are gonna wrap it around the edge of our panties. I like to do this with the right side face up when I'm sewing so that way I can make sure it looks nice on the outside. So right where you see the crease and the fold over elastic is where it's going to naturally want to fold. So we're gonna lay the raw edge of the fabric right before that crease, and the elastic just folds over. And we're just gonna fold in place as we're sewing. First, we're gonna attach the fold over elastic to both of the leg openings, and I'm going to be using a zigzag stitch, a broken zigzag stitch, to do this method. You could use a straight stitch, but it's probably gonna pop, so I don't recommend it. Definitely use a zigzag stitch, or if you have a cover stitch machine, definitely use a cover stitch machine for this step as well. So when I'm ready to line it up again, I'm gonna stop, make sure my needle's in my fabric, line it up halfway, and fold over that elastic. Double check in the beginning and make sure that you're catching the elastic on the back. We are, it looks great. Also make sure that you're choosing a zigzag stitch wide enough for your elastic. Now that we have this leg opening finished, I want you to go ahead and do the exact same thing to the other side. Now that we have both leg openings sewn with the fold over elastic, it's time to do the back and the front of the panty. First thing you're gonna do is fold your elastic in half and find the center. Once you find the center, go ahead and put a pin here. And then I want you to do the same thing for the front of your panty, fold it in half and find the center. Once you find the center, just put a pin in it. Now we know where our center points are to line up. So I want to go ahead and start pinning from right there. I'm going to fold over my elastic and put a pin in it. Okay, so now when we do this part, we don't want to sew it just flat across. We want to stretch the elastic when we do it so it gathers it up just a little bit. So I need to stretch this elastic a ½ inch longer than my actual top of the panty is, and then I'm gonna hold it in place and put a pin there. So this way I know when I'm sewing it how much I need to stretch it. I'm also gonna do this on the other side. So I'm pulling the elastic to the end, and then I'm pulling it a ½ inch beyond it, and I'm gonna go ahead and pin that. And now I know when I'm sewing, I need to stretch out the elastic so it fits in the top of the panty. Now that I have the ease pinned for the front, we are gonna start sewing. We are gonna start at the end of this tie, folding it in half, coming all the way down to the other end of the tie. Make sure you back stitch at the end and then continue. The front of the panty is looking great. We have a nice little zigzag stitch, the same width as our elastic. So the leg opening elastic is just caught in the waistband elastic here. It just gets sandwiched right in there. Look how nice that looks. Now go ahead and do the exact same thing to the back of your panties, and you are done, and we can try them on and see what they look like. We did it! We finished them. They are so cute. I love how easy these are to make. I love how finished they look, and they're adjustable at the sides. I just love these little panties. Look how cute they are all tied up. We've got the back, we've got the front, and we've got our cute little sides. Love it. I'm gonna make so many of these, every color, every print imaginable. Thanks so much for watching Sewing Anastasia today. If you have any questions on how to make these super cute panties, leave it down below and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, give it some applause, and leave in the comments below your favorite part of this video. Also, I'd love to stay connected with you on social media through Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all those fabulous social media websites, so make sure you follow me so we can stay connected. Also, I'm now teaching virtual and in-person sewing classes, and you can sign up at sewinganastasia.com. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!